Someone who hasn't called undocumented people illegals, like the other Democratic candidate, or
Hillary, maybe?
called our children
Hillary's bad.
who needed care, super predators that needed to be brought to heel, who called people on welfare deadbeats. No. Well, yes, she is under FBI investigation. Thank you. That's not getting promoted very much, but she is about to be interviewed in a little bit. But no. The reality, when you're saying the types of things that have been said and trying to misconstrue and obfuscate the facts, you're trying to divide people. Now, I appreciate Gloria Steinem saying, "I'm sorry," for saying that us women, Bernie supporters, are only here because the boys are here. So I'm really glad to see quite a lot of females and males here. And also this push and this idea that you're only white. Well, my daddy, my biological daddy anyway, is Irish. So Bernie didn't need to make me white. But apparently all y'all are white. That's crazy. It must be issues with my eyes. No, the reality is when they're talking about that stuff, is that they're trying to divide us. They're trying to say that only Trump supporters are racists, which there are a lot of racists who follow Trump, but they're not all racists. That all followers of Bernie are all white males, but that's not true either. And I think it's actually pretty amazing that when you're seeing in really large populations of white males and white females in certain states that have been poorly talked about, that they're there cheering for justice and equality, specifically racial and environmental and beyond. That's something to celebrate. It's a beautiful thing. So this is what Bernie meant when he was talking about Trump getting too much attention and distracting us from the issues. Trump is getting $1.9 billion worth of free media. Bernie has gotten about 321 million. And most of that's been with a lot of eye rolling and saying that he should be dismissed and out of the equation. Why do you think that is? Do you think that's an accident? You gotta really think about the fact that they're trying to say vote against him and forget about him. So what does that mean? That we have to vote for the other Democratic candidate? No. We're not in the general election. We're in a primary and everybody should have their say. So I don't have to vote against somebody because I get to vote for someone who's on our side and says no fracking. Who marched with Martin Luther King. And who can draw a crowd that makes me dizzy with happiness and love and acceptance. She had a fraction of that many people yesterday at the Apollo and failed to mention that when she was a senator, 2 million people were stopped because of stop and frisk that she said nothing about. In 2006 alone, 506,000 people were stopped and frisked, 90% of which were innocent. Because shockingly, you can't judge a criminal by the color of their skin. And racial profiling is not okay. It is unjust and unnecessary, and we need to end that. So I just want to say something because I love you. And I'm a New Yorker. My mom was raised on 137th Street here in the Bronx, born in Lincoln Hospital, which since burned down. I'm from Coney Island. Grew up in the Lower East Side. And I want to say that we don't need to be divided. We need to be reaching out and talking to those folks who are supporting Trump. Why? Because they're supporting him for a reason. They're standing up behind him because he's against the establishment as well. And they're literally standing behind the guy who they know is going to go into the Oval Office and go, "You're fired." I can understand that. But I'm supporting the guy who's looking at all of us and saying, "You're hired." And I know that means a lot to you because I know New Yorkers. And we are not interested in being bamboozled. Right, Spire? Or duped. Or divided by our race, our gender, our age. That's the past. When people did have to vote for the lesser of two evils, but we don't have to do that. The reality is when 9/11 happened, people came together. And they saw, when the Syrian refugees were walking, something that mirrored their experience when we had to walk across bridges and reach out. And we wanted to reach and hold them back in. We celebrated when there was a blackout for 3 days because we weren't attacked. And my mom was walking down the street in the Lower East Side going, "Neighbors, bring out your meat and meet your neighbors." So we could share our perishables. And people were making love in the fire escapes and dancing in drum circles naked in the parks. Walking through Times Square because they could see the stars for the first time. Taking care of each other during Hurricane Sandy. Making sure our neighbors had medicine and food who couldn't walk down the stairs. Charges, generators, so they could get their phones charged because that's now as important as water. Marched against the bailout because they knew the people needed the bailout, not the banks. They're still getting bailed out, so if they were too big to bail them, then, what does that look like for us voting in the future? This is a community that I love. A place that I grew up that was the melting pot, a center of the world. You can go anywhere and people know New York. You can get, a Chinese food roll, you can get a slice of pizza. You can jump on a train and go to Philly and get yourself a Philly cheesesteak. We go to Coney Island to ride the Cyclone and get a headache from it because, wow, those wooden roller coasters are dangerous. We go to New Jersey, so we can go to the water park. We go upstate, going across the Washington State Bridge so we can go and be in mountains and greenery and see bears and walk like little engines like my dad taught me to do, which was dangerous because there were bears. And we've seen what gentrification does to our community. Broadway is an old Native Indian trail. And for the first time, because of gentrification, it has been disturbed and interrupted. And we get that. We know our history. And yeah, someone I forgot to mention Fuji Feet though. Too. So, hold on. Remember, I have to say that. So I want to say, I love seeing you all here. But don't complain to me if you didn't make it your business to bring at least 5 people with you to vote. At least 5. To show the world that we knew the bailout was wrong. To show the world that we knew we weren't supposed to go to Iraq and invade that country. And the mass media that sold us that is also the mass media that's trying to sell us the person who voted for it. By the way, there is a sit-in at CNN headquarters on Sunday in LA, I think at noon, if you want to tell anybody to be there. Because they're working against us right now. And understand, if Bernie doesn't win, net neutrality will be a very big issue. Because they don't like this. All us coming together and talking to each other and organizing each other despite them. There is a lot at stake. A lot. So vote for the person who voted no for the Patriot Act twice. And the destabilization of the Middle East that we are still feeling the repercussions of today. That doesn't apologize like somehow that brings lives back, or the soldiers that we did come back, suddenly it erases their PTSD. Someone who doesn't think that regime change is a good idea of foreign policy in Honduras and Syria and Libya. Someone who's telling us to vote together. Someone who's going to go into the Oval Office and keep the door open and open up the blinds and the windows and say, let's get to work. I'm excited to work for Bernie Sanders. All right, Obama. At this time I was introducing him, but I'm introducing Spike Lee.